Ba-da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
We got a little ditty going on in the house today. Ditty, ditty, ditty. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to announce the show.
You always announce the show.
Before I get too carried away with nonsense.
Okay, I understand.
Today's show is actually a doozy. See how I changed it? I usually say barn burner.
You know what? I was going to use the word barn burner before.
Yeah, well, you go ahead.
Today's show is going to be a barn burner.
It is a doozy. And I'm going to announce the title first. You ready? This is the power of false memory. Mm-hmm. How what happened in your past keeps you stuck in your present and completely limits your future.
Woo!
The reason I'm calling this a barn burner or a doozy.
Yeah.
Oh, the monitor scared me.
But I did it. I got it that time. Nobody even noticed.
I noticed. Sorry, my bad. The reason it's a barn burner or a doozy is because although we have fun on Brian&Carrie in the morning.
Yes, we do.
And we're often full of nonsensical awesomeness.
Often is, yeah.
Yeah, this is actually taken right from our playbook.
Yeah.
Because what maybe people don't know, maybe they do, we often lecture around the world on the concepts of mindset and peak performance.
Yes.
And so this is taken, we extracted it right from our playbook on what we lecture about. So this is a big topic.
Yeah.
We're going to make it fun, because we always do.
Always.
And we're going to make it like totally understandable and totally relatable.
Always.
But you're going to have to find yourself in this particular topic.
This is a powerful one.
It's powerful.
I feel like I've been waiting for 5 months to do this topic.
Absolutely, because you've intimated. See that word?
Intimated. Good word, Bob.
Yes, you've hinted at this whole memory is fallible thing. But we're going to explain that wholly today and explain to you why you're being held back by things you think happened in the past.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's gonna
shit.
be a hot one tonight.
Barn burner. Good morning, everyone.
So Brian Whitehead mentioned that you're tall. No, I'm tall today. Yeah, my chair's higher than Brian's chair. Yeah. It's the only way we can get in the same shot.
It's a hierarchy thing.
Good morning, Caitlin, Lisa, Brian, Karen, Stacy Hossel, Tiffany Maxim, Connie Blackenship, Billy Reuter, Liz Gillinger.
I love Liz
Gillinger.
I
have something to say to you, Liz Gillinger, in 2 seconds. Cecily Casey.
Lee Patterson's here.
And Shivas.
Dr. Ann Shivas, yes.
You know what? Welcome to the show, guys.
Liz says her clients are loving us.
You know what, Liz? I'm glad you said that.
Yes.
The reason I'm glad you say that is because I was going to that's exactly what I was going to say.
You were.
I was going to address the fact that we've received multiple messages from some of your clients who, have said amazing, wonderful things about you.
About you, yes.
Not surprised.
Exactly.
And that they're so enjoying the show. And
I agree.
It just heartens me that, we're all creating this ripple together.
I agree. Yeah. And I want to continue with the accolades saying good morning to Angela, Elisa, Muna.
She's Muna today. Lou Watson.
Everybody's here. Yeah. Oh, there's more. There's Jim. Jim's here. Who's Jim?
Jim. Jen Langlois.
Oh, it's Jen.
He's got his glasses
1 second. It's Jen Langlois.
I got you.
Is she French?
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know if Jen is French, but her last name is French.
Salut, Jen. Ça va? Oh, Liz, you made Liz Gillinger cry.
I'm not surprised. Liz is like me. It doesn't take much to make us cry.
Liz was at our retreat in February in Spain.
And she's coming in October
as well. I just want to say, I thoroughly enjoy spending time with that woman.
I love Liz.
So, retreats are very intimate for you and I because we all live in the same space with our guests, right? And if you don't know me particularly well on this level, I get a little bit, what's the word I get? I get, hold on now. I
think he's trying to look for a politically correct word.
No, it's not politically. I get squidgy about sharing space with people.
You're very particular.
Because I'm
your privacy.
I'm a classic introvert.
Yeah.
Right? I regain energy in private alone.
Absolutely.
So
if anybody is an introvert, they can relate to that.
Absolutely. So we are very particular about who we ask, who we allow to come on these retreats with us for that reason. But Liz Gillinger, I just love sharing space with her.
I agree.
She kissed me on the cheek in Barcelona, Spain. We were in the kitchen, just the two of us, and I was making breakfast for everybody, and no one was there yet.
Yep.
And she started talking to me about thanking me for this and that, and then she goes, I just want to say thank you so much. She goes, come here. Who said, come here? What a mom.
Give a little kiss.
And she gave me a little kiss on the cheek. I have not washed that side of my face since.
It's a dirty side of his face.
It's not.
It's
lovely.
I just absolutely love Liz.
Yes.
Can we play my game?
Yeah, you have a couple of things for this pre-show, and I have a couple of things as well.
Okay.
Can I just say something first?
Yep.
For everyone who's just joining us, today is the power of false memory. how what happened in your past is actually keeping you stuck in your present and completely limiting your future. We're going to give you the neuroscience, the spirituality, the philosophy, and the reality behind all of this. And honestly, this is going to open your eyes so much.
And some personal stories as well.
Yes, we are.
I'm really excited about that.
Yes, we are.
The thing, Loria, but I saw what Loria, by the way, commented. She's like, has Carrie Campbell told you she was nominated for an award?
Oh, we're going to get there. Don't you worry. Yeah, absolutely. We did
that
all yesterday, didn't we?
I'm saying that just because Loria was there. The one thing I'm going to say about the pre-show counter is now I feel like I can't do it's our show, our rules. Our pre-show is going to be 15 minutes today. So
we still can.
I know, but it's not the same. With that said, I have a little game for you all.
Oh my God.
It is a competition.
You looked over there. I got confused.
I was just being funny.
Okay.
And for whoever is the first one to guess right, and Brian doesn't even know, I'm giving away a copy of our Brian and Carrie Let's Eliminate Your Limits Daily Personal Journal if you guess right. So
really now?
Everybody put your eyeglasses on.
I did not know that.
I know, I decided just before.
Where are your glasses?
I don't need my glasses.
Okay.
Put your eyeglasses on.
Okay.
Because the first person who can identify what is 100% something different about me today that I have never even one time done, worn, or been on this show, you win the journal. So put your eyes up.
Wow.
Yeah. If you guess what is different about me today that has never, ever, ever one time been present on this show.
I'm guessing.
He's guessing. You're wrong. No.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Because I want to hold on. Hold on. I want to see.
Even Brian can't guess right now. No, it's not the flower in my hair, and no, I'm not braless. No, the hair is not because it's left to the side of my ear.
Okay, you write it down now, because now I feel dumb.
I just wrote it down, but apparently Brian can't read my writing.
Oh, really?
Like it is like an anomaly. No.
Really? You're definitely going to throw on eyeglasses for this one.
Yeah, it's not the pen in my hand. We're going to keep going, and Brian can keep talking. Yes, Cecily Casey, you win!
Cecily Casey, who already has a copy of the journal.
So Cecily Casey,
do you want it for Annie?
You get to decide what you want to do with that journal. If you want it for yourself, if you want to give it to another crewmate, or for Annie.
Absolutely.
But yes, I never, ever, ever wear earrings.
I didn't even notice.
I just decided to put them in.
And I saw you putting them on before. You dropped one.
Just for the game. I haven't worn earrings in like 2 years.
Let me say this, Cecily, hang on to the end of the show, because what Cecily decides to do with this journal, I'd like her to make an announcement of it at the end of the show.
Oh, she just said it.
Oh,
sorry, she's gonna
that's
give
okay.
it to Annie.
Oh, good. Well, Annie's the best.
You know,
Annie's a beautiful young woman.
We're gonna put a little note card in there for Annie. With our little
absolutely
Brian and Carrie note cards.
That was a good game.
I had fun with that.
Well done.
It's a little fun.
What's that? Sorry.
It's your turn now.
Yeah, today's show, the power of false memory, how what happened in your past is keeping you stuck in your present and completely limiting your future.
Yep.
We're going to dissect all of that. Monica Twa said something very interesting a few comments ago. She goes, "That's an amazing topic and scary."
Yeah.
You know what? It's not scary.
Yeah.
It's as scary as we choose to make it.
Yeah, I can appreciate where.
But I know where Monica's coming from, right?
Yeah.
So, but I almost wanted to do some contextual organizing of this topic in the pre-show, but the earring game was it was way more fun. So I will start the show with the contextual. So I want to say this instead. We haven't asked for a share yet, and I'm going to ask for a share right now. But here's why. Everybody watching? Everybody listening? We had a call with one of our private groups yesterday, right? A group of people around the world who were involved in one of our coaching programs. And as a matter of fact, one of the participants of that show is on here right now. I saw her name.
Yep.
So I don't want to say who it is because it's not my story to tell.
Of course.
But if she wants to pipe in, she can, okay? This lady's a physician. She's a doctor. And she was telling us on this private group coaching call yesterday, she said, I got to tell you guys something. She said, I have a patient who's had some really massive facial trauma, okay? And it's bad. Like, this poor man is in a lot of pain, a lot of challenge. He's, really, really bad what happened to this poor guy's face, okay? Out of the blue, when she was treating him, he said to her, by the way, I love the fact that you share that show, Brian and Carrie in the Morning. I don't know who those guys are, but I watch it now because you share it. And if you ever talk to them, could you please tell them something for me? They're making my recovery easier. They're making me understand perspective and perception. They're helping me through this crisis in my life. Guys, when we ask you to share, we're not being self-serving. When we ask Brian Sakowitz, our share captain, to enlist the tribe and get our episodes shared out, we're not trying just to be cutesy and coy. This is life-changing stuff.
Yeah.
This helps people through. We are not the motivational rah, 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 pump your fist. We are people who want to get inside and help people. That's why we ask you to share. So under that story alone, can we ask you guys to share this out right now?
Yeah, and I know we're a few minutes behind.
Oh,
but
who
listen
cares?
To me,
Our show.
My point is I'm going to add to that. Y'all are going to find out in a few seconds when I put the banner up exactly how many shares I want today.
Yes, but underneath that story. Right?
Because we all create the ripple together. We're all in this together. We're all doing it together. I would love to target 100 shares today.
Guys, we got to like 87 yesterday. We're right there.
Let's make today our first 100 day.
Yeah.
Our first 100 day of shares during the show. So everybody chime in, be a part of it, because you do not know whose life you are changing by sharing this message and the conversation that we all have together.
100% yes.
And welcome Annie Casey, because I just saw that Annie's watching the show.
Oh, right on. So, well, I mean, with that, should I get us rocking today?
I think we should rock, Bubby.
Big topic today, y'all. Hey, crew, let's eliminate your limits. But that was fun. That pre-show was fun. I enjoyed that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love our pre-show. I love our whole show.
Welcome to Brian and Carrie in the morning.
We're already at 21 shares though.
Right on.
I'm impressed by that.
Thank you, Caitlin Graham. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, guys.
Let's
you
change
never
lives
know
together today.
who's watching.
Yeah.
Right? So with that, welcome to Brian and Carrie in the morning. We're live for the absolutely gorgeous Mount Tremblant, Quebec. Remember it was raining and gross yesterday? Mother Nature, a.k.a. Connie, decided to make it really beautiful today.
Was it really gross yesterday? I don't even remember.
It was disgusting.
Oh, you're
raining,
right.
overcast, and cold.
You're right.
So, Mother Nature, thank you for that. We are live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern.
Lucky us.
But the pre-show starts at 9:50. That's when you should join us because that's when all the fun happens. Today's topic, the power of false memory. How what happened in your past is keeping you stuck in your present and completely limiting your future. This really is a topic that people need to hear. Yeah. So with that, and we gave you the entire scope in our pre-show about why sharing as a tribe, as a community, as crewmates, it's just such an important part of being in Crew Nation. So we're going to ask right now, let's get to 100 shares today. Share this out, tell the world, because this in particular is a massive topic.
Yeah, and
I'm breathless.
We're going to keep coming back around to that.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep motivating you to share. I haven't figured out how yet, but maybe I'll sing. I don't know.
Maybe I'll sing.
You know, before we dive into this topic, before we dive into the specifics of it, can I just say, this was not something I knew before you and I got together. This was science you brought forth to me, and you taught me that I didn't know, right? And then, sorry.
I distracted Carrie just now, my bad.
It's not a new thing. Anyways, so this was science you brought forth to me, and it changed my life. It changed our relationship. Sure. It changed my perception of myself, and it changed my reactions and my angers and my frustrations towards other people. Right. And that's what I'm going to share about this.
Oh my God, I have so many stories to share. But as always, we need to start the show proper.
Yes.
Our crew's the best. Crew Nation. Where my crew at?
Crew.
Oh my God. Well, with that, let me start marching us down an actually quite serious conversation here.
Yeah.
Memory. All right? No, but Carrie, you phased this in great, okay? I am not a science nerd, right? But science is beautiful. Yeah. I just don't have massive passion to read scientific literature unless it involves something that is really near and dear to my passions, like spirituality, philosophy, and yes, science connects with all of those things. Right. So when I started learning, well, let me phrase that back. When I started thinking about spirituality and that we are all stardust bitches and that we are all, quantum entities, right? It got me interested in thinking about why do we hold ourselves back? And that got me realizing that past events have so much power on shaping our current lives and even projecting forward. So I started investigating the science of memory. And you know what I found out? Memory is ridiculously bad. Yeah. Like that is me being as layman. Your memory is wrong. Yes. Let me just phrase it that way. Your memory is completely fucking wrong. And yet, your entire life right now and the thoughts you have for your future are based entirely on what your limits are in relation to your past memories. Right? So that's the key. Now, I want to build the context of this. The context is so important, okay? We have done the job of explaining to people that the brain and the mind are two different things.
Yes.
The brain is the gray matter in your head. It's where all the electrical activity and the physical things happen. But the unconscious mind is non-local. Like, nobody knows where it is. It doesn't have a pinpoint, geography on the map, but nobody disputes it exists.
Yes.
The unconscious, now, if you talk to a quantum physicist, they'll tell you that there's actually this great quantum field in the world, in the universe, that we all have access to, and that's where all memories get stored. And quantum physics is like Egyptian for me. I don't fucking understand it. I like to read about it, but it's not like I understand it, okay? So I'm not going to pretend I know where the unconscious mind exists, but nobody could refute it does exist. Now, why is that important? Okay? In the unconscious mind, there are three parts of it that we have to understand. There's perception, which then perception pushes towards belief system.
Yes.
And then belief system pushes towards expectation. What does expectation push to? Action. So that's where, after expectation, it crosses into the physical world. The actions we take every day, the habits we have, the behaviors we keep in our lives related to anything, food, dating, men, women, fitness, business, money, they're all based on the expectations we're carrying in our unconscious. And those expectations are based on the belief systems we hold, which are based on the perceptions we've been given. Okay? Now, I find that sexy. I admit it. I could talk, not only could I talk about this is what I lecture on. Yep. I love this shit. I love it because you know what it does? It piece by piece helps you understand you.
Yes.
And that's what spirituality is to me. I don't put God or any sort of divine being in the world of spirituality. I put myself. I put you. Spirituality is the process of understanding yourself. If you eventually want to attach that to a particular God, bless you. I think that's gorgeous. Okay? But understanding yourself, where did your perceptions come from?
Yeah.
Right? How are they moving into the belief systems you hold? And how is that pushing into the expectations you're carrying? And then therefore, you can now dissect why you're playing small in business. Why you're constantly self-sabotaging your food and your physique and your fitness and your love life.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of that's got to do with memory.
Yes.
Because perception is based on environmental, societal, and social influence, all of which started 40 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Depending how old you are.
Yeah, can I give a practical
Yes,
example
of
that?
course.
So
That's the context I wanted to start with.
Right, so
okay?
I'm going to paint that into an actual story.
Yeah.
And I'm very purposely not going to one of those like overly dramatic stories. I'm not going to talk about abuse. I'm not going to talk about anything like that. I'm actually going to use a rather subtle example on purpose, okay? Because I think that there's power sometimes in the subtleties of the way that this works. So as you all know, I'm a recovering people pleaser. I was a people pleaser. It was significant. It was powerful, and I thought it was related to something, in my adult life, until I started to recognize that my perception from my childhood, okay, was that I was the one in my family who had to carry on the conversation. My perception in my childhood was that I was the one who had to make things right if something was wrong in our household. So I remember that. And my perception was that I was the only one who could do it, right? So I remember carrying that as a perception, right? Which then became my belief system. Yeah. This is who I am. This is what my role is. I am the nurturer. I am the one who takes care of. And that led to the expectation of expecting that was my role. I expected of myself, and I believed other people to expect of me.
Exactly.
So it led to me to being a people pleaser in a very negative way. But it was nuanced back to the perceptions of who I was as a child growing up. Exactly. Right. So that's just a practical example from my
100%. And I want to add this. Okay, nobody today is going to take your memories away from you. Yes. That's not my point. Yeah. I'm not trying to convince you that what happened didn't actually happen. Because I wouldn't do that. That's robbing you of something. That's not what we're doing. We're helping you find perspective on how your past memory, your past events have contributed to your current life. and how you can unshackle from that. By simply appreciating the memory is actually not exactly right.
Yes.
Okay, now.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Right. By the way, I want to say thank you so much to Lee, because Lee had a great comment. She said, BG, you've just unstuck me. I was in a frozen state these past 2 days. I thought it was because I was overwhelmed, but now I understand. Lee, you have no idea how much those comments mean to me.
Beautiful.
And why I love Brian and Carrie in the morning so much. We haven't even started teaching yet. We're just explaining.
Yep.
And the explanation's enough to help people. And I love that about what we do. And I love that about Crew Nation.
So fortunate.
Have we asked for a share yet? This needs to go out.
I believe it does.
People are bound by what they think happened. And it's dictating their lives and their future. And it shouldn't be that way. Okay, so let's dive deep. Let's dive a little deep.
Let's dive deep.
By starting a game.
Ooh,
You ready?
Play? Am I allowed to play?
Everyone's allowed to play. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you guys, who by the way has been to Disneyland or Euro Disney.
Who's been to Disneyland?
Okay.
Or Disneyland?
I want the answer to that question in hearts and likes.
Okay.
I want to see hearts and likes. That means you guys are with us and we know that you're now answering. Okay. So let's start there. So it looks like so far a whack of people are saying they've been to Disneyland, Disney World,
Kelly
right?
Nicole's been.
Okay, beautiful. Now, here's the second question. Now, this one is not a hard or light. Look at all those hearts. Wow, a lot of people have gone.
Right.
This one's not a hard or like one. This is, I want you to answer. I want you to say yes or no. That's it. That's all. Okay? I've been to Disneyland. I was there when I was 6 years old. As a matter of fact, it was the very first plane ride I ever took. I went with my mom. Yeah, I went with my mom, my brother, my mom's best friend, and her daughter, who was my best friend. First plane ever. And I made an ass of myself because I felt I loved to fly. And I was like that annoying kid who was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. Like nonstop, right? And so we went there for the purpose of vacation, but while there, we went to Disneyland. So I have an amazing memory of this. Like I remember walking into Disneyland and seeing the Magic Kingdom, and my favorite ride was Pirates of the Caribbean. But the highlight for me, the immense highlight for me, because I was a big Bugs Bunny fan. I'm not afraid to say that. I still think Bugs Bunny's awesome, right? But that was the big thrill for me. That, that they have the life-sized, characters walking around. When I met Bugs Bunny and I shook his hand in his big paw and I hugged him, that was my highlight.
Did you pull his ears?
I did not, because my mom would have killed me. So here's my question. This is the specific question I want you to answer. Do you remember meeting Bugs Bunny when you were at Disneyland? So I'm going to pause for a couple seconds. Elisa says me too. So I'm going to wait. Bugs Bunny is Warner Brothers, says Elisa. Okay, I don't know what that means. So I want to know if anybody else has a memory of meeting Bugs Bunny like I do. Papa Drap says no. Okay, I like that answer. Zoe says no. I like that answer as well. How do you say that name again?
Janica.
I'm so sorry I said that. I don't want to mispronounce your name.
I got it. It's Janica.
So everyone's saying no. Wow. Bugs Bunny's Warner Brothers. I don't know why people keep saying that. That doesn't make any sense to me. So we get a lot of no's. Kelly says Bugs is not at Disney. Of course he is. Okay, so anyone remember meeting Bugs Bunny? No, not Mickey Mouse. Definitely Bugs Bunny. Hema says no. Okay. Well, so far you guys are passing the test very well. But I want to tell you guys something. You ready? What I just did was what was called a memory implant. Okay? It's called a memory implant. I also want to add something. Okay? I want to add something. Had Elisa and Christine Basista and other people not started the parade of saying, oh, well, Bugs is a Warner Brothers character. You mean Mickey Mouse. My memory plant might have worked. You never can tell. Memory plant. Anyone notice how much I detailed my experience? Right. Taking the plane, 6 years old, went to Disney, Magic Kingdom, favorite ride was Pirates of the Caribbean, putting my hand in Bugs' hand. That's called a memory plant. Do you want to know something? When asked.
Listen up.
Okay, so look at, you guys were great. Some of you said no, which is wonderful. And then I want to add, other memory plants were added by Elise and Christine, which is absolutely fine, of course. But be wary of this. Be understanding of this, okay? In a scientific study, and I think it was around 2,000 adults, the same memory plant was done with them about Bugs Bunny and Disney World, or Disneyland, I mean. 25% of those adults detailed, specific, and intimate memories of meeting Bugs Bunny at Disneyland. I just do not discount Elisa and Christine putting a different memory implant in there.
Or even the fact that we're talking about memory today.
Absolutely, right? So 25% of adults were influenced enough to start make-believing a story of them meeting Bugs Bunny.
Yes.
Which, of course, is not possible. Because Bugs Bunny has never stepped foot inside the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Memory.
Sure.
You see how it can be manipulated? See why media does what it does?
Yep.
Everything is manipulatable.
Right.
So that was the first game. Okay? And that's an example of why memory is so fallible. I have more, and I want to explain them all because these are really important things.
Yeah.
There's something that we all share as human beings. It's called change blindness. Anyone ever heard of change blindness before?
Cascade of Heart?
Yeah.
Or commentary. Have you ever heard of change blindness?
Yeah. I want to know. Anyone ever heard of
too.
change blindness?
I love this topic.
Well, me too.
I'm sitting on like so much over here. I can't wait. This is like
Lisa
so
also
powerful.
pipes in. No, I love that. Okay. So here's what change blindness is. You ready? And
ready.
This experiment is like awesome to me.
It is. This is. Can I just?
Yeah.
I want to interrupt for 1 second.
Of course.
Because, like, you know, science is refutable. Irrefutable.
Irrefutable.
Sorry, right?
Yep.
So it's irrefutable. So, like, that's the power of this to me. Is like when I heard all of this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is science.
Yeah.
And you can't argue it.
Science, bitches.
And I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, I can't argue any of this anymore.
You can evolve it, but you
Of
can't
course.
argue it, right?
Yeah, so
change
it's fine.
blindness. Here's the experiment they did. Okay, you ready? A scientist, part of the experiment, stops a random guy on the street and says, "Oh, excuse me, sir, can I ask you for directions?" And then this stranger starts giving the scientist directions on, "Oh, you go over there, right?"
Yeah.
On cue, okay, two other scientists who are involved in the experiment, obviously, they're carrying a big table, okay, that completely shuts out the view from this stranger to the scientist he's talking to.
Yep.
They walk right between the two of them, okay? Then, in a shifty little move, the scientist holding the back end of the table, are you with us? And the scientist standing there talking to the guy about directions, switch places. Out of view. So the stranger has no idea they switched places. Do you know in 90% of those circumstances, the stranger just keeps on giving directions as if he's talking to the same person.
It's crazy.
And I want to be clear. If you ever go look up change blindness on the internet, the photos of these two scientists, these people do not look alike. Okay, it's not like a boy and a girl.
Yep.
But we're talking about a guy who's 5'11", a guy who's 5'6".
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy who's got red hair and thinning, and a guy who's got a full head of dark hair. These are not accidental. Oh, they look close enough. This is a scientific phenomenon called change blindness. Okay, and it speaks to memory. You know what you don't know about your memory? Your unconscious. If it doesn't make sense, your unconscious fills in the gaps
It's incredible.
with information to make it sensible for you.
Yep.
Literally, even though you're talking to a different person and you consciously know that. How could you not know that? The transition happened in 2 seconds.
Yep.
You know you're talking to somebody different. It is so nonsensical to your unconscious mind. Your unconscious just simply mitigates it all and says, well, no, it must be the same person, so keep going.
This is
Think about that for a
amazing
second.
experiment.
Yes.
It's absolutely, it's mind-blowing, that experience.
It
when you
is.
watch it. I just got to pause for 1 second to give
Yes,
a shout
yes,
out
yes.
to some newbie crewbies.
Yes.
Jason Jazzergorle and Gonzalez, I can't pronounce your last name, Villeneuve. Welcome to the show. We're talking about memory today, so I
Yes.
just wanted to do that pause. You know, a lot of people hadn't heard about the change blindness thing.
Yeah.
But I want to say, like, you know, this whole, I said it like 3,000 times now, this whole topic of conversation is mind-blowing to me when you peel back the science behind it. And, you know, talking about the change blindness, everything that we're talking about right now, you know, and I'm sure you can add to this, I don't even know if you have it in your notes, but that, like, eyewitness accounts now are no longer credible.
Change blindness in the United States of America specifically, the phenomenon that is change blindness, which is completely a neuroscientific reality that we've only started realizing the power of it in the last 20 years. If you eyewitness testimony is no longer considered admissible in some court districts because we now know that what you think you saw is not what you fucking saw.
Yeah.
Especially because if it was a crime, you're also in an alarmed state.
Yep.
You're under duress. You're stressed out. Your unconscious starts filling in shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so eyewitness testimony is now considered obsolete.
Yeah.
If it's not DNA, it's often not provable.
And think about that for a second.
Think about
okay?
that, because how much it's evolved our courts.
If eyewitness accounts in some states is no longer admissible because of the memory aspect of it,
right?
Think about what you're hinging a lot of your decisions on based on the past.
The point.
And this is where we're going to go. We're going to paint the picture out completely. But it's no longer allowed in like proving murder and rape and all those things because of the fact that we can't count on it.
Yes.
But how many decisions, how many things do you do every day that are based on a memory from the past?
Yes.
Just pause and think about that.
Think about it, even if it's not conscious.
Yes.
So you know what? You set up the last one I want to say. This is called language structure. Believe it or not, we have more examples.
Yeah.
But this is called language structure, okay? This one is critical because of what Carrie just said. There are two parts of language, okay? There is surface language and gist language. Surface language is the actual words I use.
Yes.
Okay? Gist language is the idea of those words. Does that make sense? Okay? The farther we get away from a conversation in terms of time, okay, the more we have absolutely zero recollection of the surface language, but immense recollection of the gist. So the point of that is this. Somebody says something to you when you're 5 years old or 15 years old or 25 years old, and right now you think you remember it word for word. You don't. You remember the gist of the conversation. Right. But as we move farther away from that conversation, your memory of the gist starts to decline massively. And here's the point. Are you ready? We remember the gist. We fill in the details from our unconscious. And here's the kicker. We believe the results. Yeah. That's the key. That's the key. Right. We believe the results. Yeah. That is the unmistakable, undeniable crux of all of this. Yeah. Is that what happened in the past didn't really happen the way you've remembered it happening. And yet you believe that your current memory is exact.
Yes.
Now here's my last part. Everybody knows what memory loss is, right? Do you want to know something? Do you want to know what you do more than memory loss? You memory add. And most people don't know that.
Yeah. That
as we get farther away from events and stories, we start to add new details that didn't actually happen.
Right.
But we believe the results.
You know,
holy fuck.
Can I?
Holy fuck.
Let me put this in sorry, just wondering, is it certain dreams you have? Could people remember? Okay, sorry, I was just reading the comments that Jason put up. You know, I want to know if you relate to this, okay? Because this is like, I think, the best way to paint the picture of memory add and memories like subtractions, okay?
Sorry to interrupt.
Right.
Marcy, you remember how you felt when you heard it? No.
Not even.
Emotions are equally fallible.
Right.
They're all part of the memory complex.
We think we're remembering how we felt.
How we felt.
So,
exactly.
Do any of you, do you know anybody who like tells the same story? Like, you know, so like we use stories to express ourselves, whatever, okay? But every time you hear this story that your grandfather tells or your mother tells or your best friend tells, it's a little bit different.
It gets better.
Have you ever, like, it gets better? So I was going 50 miles an hour, but now I was going 80 miles an hour, and it was raining lightly, but now it was a downpour of rain. How many of you can relate to that, where you're listening to the story, and you're like, this was not the same, this was not where this story started, right?
Yes.
Years ago. And like some of us will actually like get frustrated by that. We often refer to it as people exaggerating.
Yeah.
But you know,
they're probably not.
They're not probably exaggerating. They're memory adding, right? And I always chuckle at that because I'm like, this is not the same story.
Yeah.
Can you guys relate to that? Have you experienced that?
Kelly and Nicole, I love it when you go to a high school reunion and someone tells you where they were and you guys were best friends and blah blah blah, and she's like, yeah, but we were never friends. But I've experienced stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like my point in all of this is not to take your memories away from you. I'm not saying like start believing that incident, that experience, that tragedy didn't happen. I'm not at all saying that.
Right.
What I am saying is start to become aware of how much that event, that conversation, that tragedy has affected your decisions over time.
Yep.
Your belief in yourself. It has created your perception. It has made your belief system. It has built your expectations. What you have in your life right now and what you don't have in your life right now, but you want, is a complete mirror of these past events that we have memorialized incorrectly.
Right.
That's the key.
You know, and okay, so I have a lot to add.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to start here, okay? The first place I'm going to start is really, for me, what this comes down to is, do the memories that you are carrying currently serve where you want to go in life?
That's it.
Okay? Do they serve you? And if you really look at it, anything that's wrapped up in negativity isn't serving you. It just isn't, right?
Right, 100%.
So, you know, I try. So that's the first thing I want to say is, do they serve you or do they not serve you? Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing I want to say, which is just an additional kind of note to all of this, you know, Marcy's comment of like, you remember how you feel. And we made the point of like, but you don't. You think you remember how you feel. It all bleeds into, for me, what's a really powerful kind of like philosophy of life that I think we should all carry.
Yeah.
When you conclude, you stop seeking.
100%.
So if I conclude that my memories are fact, I am boxing myself into that definition of what I believe happened, and I'm staying stuck there, right? Now, I want to paint this and how it's affected my life, but before I do, did you want to...
I'm going to add one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to add one more thing, okay? Carrie's a licensed counselor. I am not, okay? I don't pretend to be a psychologist. I sure as shit don't want to be a psychologist. But I also don't want to influence anybody in a negative way that makes you question your own therapy or your therapist. That's not my point.
Sure.
But here is what I'm trying to say, okay? When I look at psychotherapy and I see all they tend to do is put people in a fucking box. You are diagnosed as this because of that. Therefore, you need this fucking medication. I want to lose my shit and or vomit. Especially when the therapeutic intervention is all about regressive therapy. Let's go back in time and make amends for the event that happened. If neuroscience has shown you anything, irrefutably, going back in time, you will be going back in time until the day you fucking die. Because nothing about going back in time is actually what happened.
Right.
It's your current day perception of what happened. It is your current belief system of what happened, all of which have experienced massive memory loss and memory additions over time since it happened. If we're talking about healing, what the fuck are we going back in time for? Back in time has you chasing your tail on something that may or probably not didn't exactly happen the way we think it did. I fucking hate it. And I hate it when people get 20 years in therapy doing regressive therapy. Well, because if you're always looking for a problem, guess what? You're going to fucking find one.
Yeah, you know, and I'm going to...
And it might not be even a real problem. It could be a made up part of your memory. Like, let's stop talking about that shit.
Yeah. You know,
was that too passionate?
No, everybody's like, mic drop, mic drop, mic drop.
Fuck.
So I gave you a mic drop.
Thank you.
My little fingers are in control of the buttons. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is actually address that with a really powerful story. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
So I have a client that I'm currently working with privately, and part of what we're working on is a relationship issue that they have as in their couplehood. And this client was telling me that they went to counseling years ago, and counseling actually made the problem worse. Yeah. Because all that they did was they went back and talked about what happened. Yeah. But the problem is that neither one of those two people remembered it the same way.
Exactly.
So it dredged up all this negativity from the past about what one person remembered versus what the other person remembered, and actually put them in a worse place. Right. Right. So this is like so powerful. Right.
Yeah, I know you have things to say. Can I just comment on some comments? Because they're great comments. So Cindy Harkey. What is interesting to me is that memories store in our cells. So when we experience a similar situation that brings up those feelings, you keep recreating it. That's not true. That is a folklore. It's called an engram. And engrams are now proven to be, at best, debatable. Yeah. It's not true we store shit. We think we store shit. We store the story of shit, but we don't actually store the actual memory.
Right.
So that is something, Cindy, I'm not calling you out. I'm so happy you brought that up.
Right. We're storing our perception of
We're
memory.
storing perceptions, which is fluid at best and not absolute.
Yes.
And then Dr. Ann Shiva says, how would you go about rewriting the non-serving memories? Are you ready, guys? Write a different story.
Yep.
And stop pretending these memories are actually keeping you stuck because they're not actually real.
Right. Which if you're involved in using the Brian and Carrie
Exactly.
Eliminate Your Limits journal, that's exactly what you're doing when you do this work.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. This is amazing. So I want to tell you guys, first of all, 86 shares, 14 more to go. So everybody, let's get to 100 shares today.
Absolutely.
Because everybody needs to hear this. Okay, so, I really did, this topic.
Cecily, I love Cecily's, I'm so sorry
No,
again.
it's all fine.
Regressive therapy, Cecily, it made me feel like I was crazy. Because it's not real, Cecily. Because you're trying to chase memories that may or may not have happened in that context. And you know what? If I was in therapy for 5 years, here's the fucking thing. If I was in therapy for 5 years about something from my past, okay? If that therapist was honest, over the course of those 5 years, my recollection of that memory would change. It would change. Yeah. Which tells you what?
Yes.
It tells you it's not fucking necessary to go back in time and chase ghosts.
Yeah.
Chasing ghosts.
You know what? Can I add to that? Because even if your memory was accurate, let's just say on the maybe it was accurate, you can't change it anyways. So how about we stop going back to something that we can't change? We would so much rather equip you to move forward.
Even tragedy.
And learn how to let that go, right?
We're not brushing off tragedy, but what we are saying is you can't do anything about it now.
Exactly.
So let's write a new story.
Yes. Okay, so
I'll shut up now.
Welcome, Vinnie Maltz.
Vinnie Maltz, Danielle Reuters. She's amazing.
I have paper written. I have notes everywhere, okay? So I want to paint this picture for you guys because this was really life-altering for me. This was one of the, I am a highly emotional person. Yeah. In case you didn't know. Yeah. So when it comes to me kind of making real transformational changes, things that are emotive don't really change me as much as things that are intellectual. Yeah. Because I'm able in an emotive state to rationalize and pull on intellectual reasoning in order to kind of see my way forward. Okay.
Yep, makes sense.
So this whole memory aspect, okay, the 3 ways that it affected me, okay, it affected us. Yes. It affected me and myself and my forgiveness of the past. Okay. And I'm going to paint them all for you. So the first one I'm going to talk about is as a couple. Okay. As a couple or, business partners in relationship situations, how many times have you found yourself in one of those back and forth conversations and you're having this back and forth where it's like, no, that's not what I said. No, you're not remembering that way. That's not what I did. This is what you did. No. And you end up going, How many of you can relate to that, right? So Brian and I, after going through this process of conversation over this topic, we literally made a decision. Yeah, powerful. Like it was a decision that the second the conversation goes to, that's not what happened, this is what happened, right. We stop the talking conversation. About it. But let's face it, we don't stop the conversation, we stop the fight because it's a disagreement at that point. It became a disagreement about what our perceptions of what happened. So it changed everything. And we've actually transferred that into our kids. Because siblings are the same way, right? They get into arguments with each other. Yep. No, he said this and she said that, and that's not what happened. We've both fucked up. We've taught them the science behind this. Absolutely. And they've learned to stop it. Yes. So that's how we integrated it for us. Now, before I keep going, do you want to add anything or should I just keep going with the examples? I want to add a nice comment, Tiffany Maxim. If you're constantly forced to focus on the bad shit, how the fuck do you ever progress forward? Right. Thank you. Mic drop. Thus, my disagreement with conventional regressive therapeutic techniques. So something bad happened. You know what we should do? We should keep talking about it. Yeah, let's keep talking about it. You know what we should do? Let's embed that story a little bit deeper. Yeah, we should keep reliving it best we can, non-stop. That's how we're going to fucking take forward steps. Exactly. Okay, so now, how did this affect me insofar as forgiveness? Yep. Okay, because this is a powerful one. I've come from some pretty unhealthy relationships. Sure. Okay. Yep. And I'm not just talking about marriage, whatever, boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm talking about friendships. I've come from some really not healthy relationships. But when I started to recognize this whole and really embrace this whole concept of memory,
Yep.
I actually started questioning myself about
Yep.
how much was actually real. Okay, like
Yeah.
I can say that certain things happen to me factually, but how much have I memory added to the situation? Right? And how much was I holding people to that memory
Yep.
and sending out resentment and anger and frustration? You know how I found forgiveness? I found forgiveness by accepting that memory may not be accurate. And in
Right.
doing that, I really did release myself from holding on
Yeah.
to anger and frustration in the past. And now some of you might think, well, that's not a good thing to do because people were bad to you, people were mean to you, people did things to you. But you know what? I don't want to stay stuck in the past. I don't want to be back there feeling bitter
Exactly.
and resent and angry.
Yeah.
So I finally, and even when we're talking about things, Brian will ask me about my past as a child, and I was like, you know what? I don't really remember that much anymore.
Yes.
And I choose not to remember that much of the bad stuff because I don't know if it's right or if it's wrong.
Absolutely true. 100%. Love, by the way, that Angie Olson chimed in, our buddy.
Love Angie Olsen.
She chimed in saying that she needed to hear this today and that she feels like we're talking to her. I love that. That's our goal every day, is to make you all feel like we're talking directly to you.
Yes.
Kelly Nicole made the exact same comment just a few seconds ago.
Yeah.
So I have something, but you finish your stuff first.
No, I think that was it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's bring it back to both a little bit of science and some practicality.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, you ready?
I am ready.
Here it is. Okay? The perception you carry about yourself has been based on the influences and experiences you've incurred to date, all of which are now memory. Okay? Which means the perception you carry of yourself is fallible. It's fallible because it's based on what happened.
Yes.
And what happened in your current perception is not what really happened. So the whole foundation of your life pyramid is wonky at best. Completely fucked,
Yeah.
more likely.
Yes.
Because the perception you're carrying about you, what you're capable of, what your opportunities are, what you can do with your life, your physique, your relationships, or anything else, that perception is based almost entirely on these past influences and experiences, okay? Now that perception becomes the belief system you walk around with every single day,
Yes.
right? That belief system then pushes the expectations you carry of what you believe is going to happen.
Absolutely.
And that is what drives your actions. Okay, so I had a really, really shitty time with money in my early adulthood. I was wasteful. I was not management oriented of it. But then when I was even, really impressionable, I became friends with a lot of big playing money guys.
Right.
Guys who were making, I'm not shitting you, we're talking about guys who are making $1 million a month with their businesses. I'm skirting by on $32,000 a year. Well, I have a friend who's making $1 million a month. Okay? Guess what the perception I created was? The perception I created was, I'm not as good as that guy. I'm working my ass off, but I can't seem to make any money.
Right.
I'll never be as good as that guy. You need to have this kind of skill or this kind of smarts or this kind of whatever to be that kind of successful. And I guess I don't have it because he's already there and we're the same age. Boom. That's my perception of self. And that's my perception of my opportunities. He's smarter than me. He has a bigger market than I do. I'm never going to be able to make it. That becomes my belief system. I am never going to be able to make it. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I work, that guy and that guy and that girl are always going to make money. I never am. That's my unconscious belief system, which becomes then my expectation. So, hey, Brian, you want to pay $10,000 to go to this mastermind? We're going to teach you to make money. Well, I don't have $10,000 and there's no way I can invest that because I'm not good enough to make that money back. So, no, you guys go, but I can't do that. Hey, Brian, here's a book I read about how to make money. Do you want to borrow it? Yeah, I'll borrow it, but I'm probably not going to do it very well because I don't know how to make money. You make $1 million a month. I make $32,000 a year, so I don't know as much as you. So I'll read the book, but I really won't do anything with it. That is my expectation, which drives my action.
Yeah. It's so powerful.
Do you see how that works?
Crazy.
The perception I carried about myself and my opportunity became my belief system, which became my expectation, which then drove my actions. I didn't invest in myself. I didn't go to the mastermind. I didn't read the book. I didn't do things I could have done to learn how to make money.
Yeah.
Because I had a belief system and a perception in my unconscious that I would never be able to anyways. All because of influence and experience.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is memory.
Exactly. Wow.
And the reason I brought up money is because money was my story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Money was my story. I have the same example. I could lay out the exact same example about my physique.
Sure.
I could do that just as easily.
Yeah.
Because the biggest two stories I've had in my life were money and my body. Both of which I have now easily overcome.
Yes.
Without even challenge. Because I learned to hack the system.
Yeah.
You don't need motivation. You don't need to go to a seminar, stand on your chair, pump your fucking fist, jump up and down, be told that you can do anything and that you're the best and that you have as much possibility as anybody else and you feel good until you go home. Then the unconscious story, which is all perception, belief system, expectation, has not moved 1 ounce, so nothing changes. You don't need that. You need to hack the system.
Yeah.
And you start hacking the system by realizing that what happened really has no fucking bearing on right now.
Yeah, you know, first
That's
of all,
the basis.
that was a mic drop. I gave it to you a while ago.
Woo!
And I'm going to add to that before I go to a little announcement. But, you know, we all are familiar with the rhetoric.
Did I rock it?
You rocked it.
Did I rock it?
You rocked it.
Okay, thank you.
They gave you
I
mic
just
drops.
dropped both
We all
fucking
got
pens.
mic drops.
Both my pens have been dropped.
You know, I want to say something. We're all familiar with the language empower yourself. Empowerment.
Yeah.
Like empowerment, maybe not so much right now, but like 3 years ago, empowerment was all the rage, right? Like be empowered, empower yourself, and rah, 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 right? But can I tell you where true empowerment comes? True empowerment comes through this process. You know why?
Yes.
Because you empower yourself to no longer be handcuffed to the things in your past
That's it.
that you have put memory around.
That's it.
You really do unhandcuff yourself. You take your foot off the brake. You do all of those rhetorical things that we hear about all the time.
Yeah.
When you step into this and you recognize, okay, what I am doing today is built on a memory from 7 years ago, 17 years ago, or 7 months ago that was absolutely incorrect.
I agree.
Right? So that's where empowerment comes from.
Can you pass on that book? It all starts by hacking the system.
Yeah.
The first hack is what Carrie just said. Recognize it's all just a bunch of bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's all just a story.
Yep.
It's not based on anything real. It's based on the current language you're using.
Yes.
So release yourself to that.
Yeah.
Don't be hypnotized by it. Mm-hmm. Don't get hypnotized by the materialism of it all.
Right.
It's all nonsense. That's your first. Then you move into awareness and accountability. And when you do those two things, you start to adapt. How do you gain awareness and how do you provide accountability? You do this. You count your wins every single day. You learn your language every single day. You review your direction every single day. And you imagine your outcome every day. It's that simple. So listen carefully, guys. Learn your language needs to be amplified right now. Mm-hmm. Okay? So if you're like, I really want to date, but man, I'm afraid. Oh, I'm really afraid. Stop fucking saying you're afraid. Now, I'm not saying that to be like a bastard or blunt. I'm saying it to say like, the more you say that, the more that's the story you're writing.
Exactly.
I'm playing small in this whole business thing and making money, and Carrie, we shouldn't invest that much because what if we can't make it back? Every fucking time I say that, that's exactly how I'm playing in life. Because that's the expectation I have. I should be afraid of dating. I should be afraid of investing in my business.
Yep.
I should be afraid of investing in myself. If that's the expectation you're carrying, then you're going to play small in life. So every single fucking time you hear stuff like that, change it.
Yes.
Change it to the fucking affirmative.
Exactly.
Because that's how the rewrite happens. That's it. That's all. Like, it really is simple.
It really is.
It just takes some attention.
And practice.
And practice. Well, nothing happens without some diligence, right? So I have a question. Several minutes ago, I saw Lee say she's scared. And I wanted to know if you wouldn't mind explaining why you're scared.
I feel scared.
Yeah, and but if it's not comfortable, we understand. And if it is, we'd love to share. That's up to you, Lee. But we'd love to know why. I love our crew.
You know what? Can I just say, oh my God, learning my language and the daily routine has changed so much for me. I love it. I love it when Liz Gillinger swears. Fuck yes.
Yeah, fuck.
Can I just say something while we're waiting for Lee to chime in if she chooses to? We did it. We got, 10 minutes ago, we had 110 shares.
You got, Crew Nation's the best.
You know what? And somebody, I think it was Kristen, or Kelly Nicole, someone made the comment of, we're so awesome. And yes, we are so awesome.
All
this
of us.
entire crew who are creating a ripple of change around the world, we are so awesome. So I hope that everybody sits and basks in that for the day.
I agree.
I have more, but you go.
Can I add one more thing?
Of course you can.
You know, when I said what I said about if you're afraid to date, stop saying that.
Yeah.
If you're afraid of investing money, stop saying that. Can I also add one more thing? Mm-hmm. But think about progress, not perfection. Mm-hmm. You're human. Mm-hmm. Stories don't go away in a day. I still get slayed by my stories.
Right.
But now, what used to be this, my stories were so loud. The perception, belief system, expectation, they were so loud that one thing I would be in the dumps for 3 weeks. Yep. But I learned through this shit how to really organize myself better and be more aware of when I was saying stuff. So then it became 3 days. Mm-hmm. Then it became 3 hours, and now it's 3 minutes. I don't have, when I have money stories now, I quickly just change the language. Mm-hmm. Because it's all like what you say is what becomes.
Which is where the science for me helps, right? Because when I can wrap science around it, it's not something that is like...
It's science,
it's
bitches.
Not intangible.
Exactly,
yeah. So I want to, if it's all right, go to the comment of the day.
Yes.
Bum, 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 bum.
Who wins?
You didn't even read this comment. We were talking about regressive therapy. And this is Lee's comment. So Lee Patterson, you are the comment of the day winner, which means you get 20 bonus points from Carrie, which is good to cash in on hugs. 20 years in therapy and not moving forward. I mean, what the fuck? 45 hours of watching Brian and Carrie have moved me so far forward. I am so blessed for that comment. But more importantly, I know that you're not alone. I know that you know people who, when you join the Brian and Carrie crew, and you get involved in the conversation, or you just listen. But when you're in the conversation and we're all growing together, and I think that that's a beautiful testament to it that you shared, Lee. So that's the comment of the
That's absolutely gorgeous. I want to say this, Billy Reuter, 110 is a good start. Can't wait till it's 500 and 1,000 shares.
Just wait, because you never know when I'm going to get that one up my.
Oh, it will be.
Up my body.
Here's what Lee says: I have moved so far forward. I feel better things are coming, but this fear feeling is overwhelming. It has made me feel numb. Why? I don't understand. Well, it's a built-in defense mechanism. It's a common path and route that you have gone down for years. Yep. And I can relate because shutting down was like my calling card. Mm-hmm. When my stories got so loud, I would emotively and mentally shut down.
Right.
So almost like I was putting a big bubble around myself so nothing could touch me. Nothing could hurt. I wouldn't feel excited about anything because if I felt excited about something, it meant that the possibility of me falling into hurt was there. Right?
Yeah, and I just wanted, first of all, hi Matt Holmes. Love you.
Hey, right on, Matt Holmes is here.
I just wanted to say, in addition to that fear thing, Lee, go back and watch yesterday's show because we talked about this, dancing with the fear, right? Yeah. I think, I always refer to it as free falling, okay?
Yes.
And so Brian and I, we're very honored, not honored, but we feel very blessed and grateful that we just brought on a new teammate, a chief operating officer, and you'll hear more about that. We'll introduce you to him and everything.
Yes.
But it was actually a significant step in our business. And I always refer to it as like this, we're stepping into unknown territory.
Yes.
And there is this like iota of fear. But it is the fear of like standing at the edge of a cliff and I'm about to jump off and I know I'm going to experience something amazing and exhilarating, right?
Yeah.
So that we have fear is common. That we paralyze ourselves from it is what we want to learn how to stop doing, right?
Absolutely.
So be okay with the fear, Lee, knowing that you're going to keep walking. And I bet you were really afraid 4 months ago when you started watching Brian and Carrie in the morning, you started uncovering stuff and being vulnerable. So look at the positive proof of how far you've come, right? So I just wanted to add that. Yeah.
John Delancey, great comment on the whole therapy, find the right therapist, coach for you, etc. Matt Holmes is just here making friends with everybody right now. I love Matt.
I love it when people chime on and then everybody talks.
Maddie's the best. I just want to add one thing about, you said Matt, everybody's talking. Yeah. Kelly Nicole, she wrote this. This group is amazing. It really helped me to change my mindset, blah, blah, blah. But then she added, it's not just Brian and Carrie, but the whole dynamic of this group.
Yes.
Thank you for saying so. I completely agree with you. If there are any celebrities, stars of show, who have our level of humility, I've not met them. And I mean that sincerely. This isn't about us. It's about all of us. Yeah. This group is just, it's fascinating for me. This group is our therapy.
Yeah.
We love the crew. We absolutely fucking love Crew Nation.
Absolutely.
Every one of you matter.
You know, yesterday, first of all, I love how so many of you actually took our little, the little mantra that we created, the little ditty, and we'll close out with that today. But so many of you took that and turned it into a poster and have been scattering it all over Facebook. And yesterday, Cecily Casey posted, and I think Annie actually made the poster for her. Yeah. But, I can't remember it. Brian knows it off by heart. I don't yet.
Of course I do.
But for me, the most amazing experience was to read through the comments and see who commented on Cecily Casey. So how many of you that you've tuned in to Brian and Carrie have literally opened yourself to new relationships through this community? Because Brian Sakowitz didn't know Zoe Morgan 6 months ago. We didn't know any of you for the most part 6 months ago. You're all new to our world, and I think that there's so much beauty in that, and that's a large part of why we do what we do.
Of course, Cecily qualifies as her older daughter Lucy, who made it. Look, the Caseys were like a household phenomenon in their home. I love it.
So y'all are the best.
And you know what? As you're talking there, Carrie, these points are just coming in, are just so amazing. I want to spend time with them all, but I tell you what, let's end the way we're now going to end every single show, because it is the crewmate mantra. Okay?
Let's do it.
Review where you're going, count your wins along the way, imagine all the glory, and be mindful of what you say.
We will see you
guys tomorrow. Wow.